hotter the conflict, the greater the triumph.
A theist serpent may be overcome by a swarm of ants.
Lead me, follow me, or get out of my way. Age wrinkles the body, quitting wrinkles the soul.
Sail away. Battle buddies.
Battle buddy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final episode of the Odyssey.
Is the ultimate.
If you are new here, we make light of heavy history.
Mm-hmm.
We like to make really intense things that nobody likes to really read palatable and fun to listen to. At least we like to think so.
We have fun.
We do have fun.
Yeah.
And there has been a lot of listeners lately, and I really appreciate that.
Yes.
So thank you for those who have been tuning in and interacting with us, both in person and on the interwebs. That's been really encouraging and keeping us going. So thank you.
Yeah. People sending me screenshots of them listening to it in their truck and stuff.
Yeah, that's
Cool.
tight. That's the good shit.
Even when it says fucking finally and I'm the one that takes forever editing it. Yeah, that's on me. But I appreciate that you're listening.
We just have fans, bro. I don't know what to tell you.
It's cool. Yeah, we're going into the ultimate. We did the penultimate last time, which was one of my favorite recordings we've done recently. That was a fun episode.
We did have fun with that.
We're going into the ultimate. We are looking at this conclusion. And, I teach English, and I was thinking about, it must just be some Jungian stuff, some collective unconsciousness. I'm like making connections, even if they're there or not there. But we were reading this Robert Frost poem. I don't know if you know it. Stopping by the Woods on a Snowy Day. It's really good.
It sounds lovely.
It is. It's really cool because it's only 4 stanzas. The rhyme scheme is very cool. It's AABA. So the second to last line rhymes with the next stanza on all the lines. It's kind of like, sounds like Eminem almost because it kind of floats, right? He does that looping thing that he does when he does it.
Not heard someone connect Eminem to Robert Frost.
To my boy Bobby. Bobby's got bars.
Where's Robert Frost from?
America.
No. Where in America, bro?
I don't know. Somewhere in the country. He's just known for his nature stuff.
I was going to try to make an 8 Mile connection, but
Ooh,
it's all right.
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe Michigan. I feel like Michigan vibes, Vermont vibes, maybe.
Hit us up. Let us know where Robert Frost is from.
I don't need to know. I've learned so many times and forgotten. Actually, I do want to know. Anyway, the end. It says, the last stanza, it's all about this guy. He's on a horse. He's in the woods. And there's woods on his left, and there's a frozen lake on his right. And he's like, there's no one here. And just contemplating that, right? And his horse isn't sure what to do. And in the final stanza, he's debating, the woods are lovely, dark, and deep, but I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep.
Oh, is that
and
where
miles
that's
to
from?
go before I sleep. It's such a good line. It's such a good stanza. It's like academics love it because there's so much there. And average, like people that are not academics love it because it's hella dope. It's just like a cold line to say.
I've definitely heard it
Yes.
before. I can't tell you where, but I've heard that before. That's a very famous line. It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. And so there's, I don't know your familiarity with the Oxford comma, but if you list a list of 3 or more things, you're supposed to have a comma before the last coordinating conjunction. So like the and. So if I say like Spencer is beautiful, strong, and smart, before that and, there's a comma there. And Robert Frost on that one doesn't use one. So my kids and I were talking about it. And I can't believe how many students were able to figure out, without me prompting them, because I just wanted to see what they could do, that by not having the comma, what he's saying is that the woods, which are life is lovely because it's dark and deep. And kids they're like, this is it. Like, that's cool. And it made me think of the Odyssey a lot. And the hero journey. And why do we like this tension? And why do we want this drama in our lives? And like, why is this a natural thing that we are seeking out? And it's because it's what makes life interesting. Like, how shitty would life be without it?
Wait, so he broke a rule, like a grammatic?
He broke a grammatical rule. He's supposed to put the comma in there if he was listing them all as equals.
And that message is that things are dark?
So yeah, because it says lovely, comma, dark, and deep. And so without a comma there, it's not saying that all 3 of those adjectives are of equal value.
Got you.
And so it could be, but sometimes you don't need it. Sometimes it could, in like some magazine editing rules, you don't have to do that. But in book publishing, you do. And he knows that.
He does know that. Okay.
And-
That was
'cause
going to be my next question.
he's
Like, do
very-
you think he purpose?
He's very, very good.
Okay.
I always try to explain it to students. They're asking like, did he really? Are the curtains really blue because they're sad, kind of thing? Like for him, yes, because if you read his stuff, he doesn't miss his language. He's very precise. And an editor tried to add the comma for his anthology, and he had it removed.
Got it.
So it's
that's why I asked.
Yes.
You know, because my ignorant ass, when I hear Oxford comma, I see myself drinking coffee and listening to that Vampire Weekend song.
Absolutely.
Who gives a fuck about an Oxford comma?
I love that song.
Yeah,
but
we all did.
But when I listen to that song, I think me. I give a lot of fucks about Oxford commas. I care deeply about them.
Robert Frost.
I think
Who gives a lot of fuck? Robert Frost gives a fuck. And Kevin.
And then I love, so you go from that into, so life is interesting because there's tension, right? Because there's potential drama. There's danger sleeping out in the woods.
It is the state of our existence.
Absolutely. It's what makes existence worth. But then you got promises to keep and miles to go before you sleep. And I was like, Odysseus, he's going through all these crazy trials, but at the end, he can't stop because he's got to go back. He's got promises. Like he's got his family, he's got his legacies and his ancestry, and he got to take care of his dad.
Leave no man behind.
And that's where we're at.
Very Memorial Day themed.
It is. All right, we're looking at book 15 first. And it's pretty short. Athene is going to grab Telemachus, and she's going to tell him to leave Menelaus. Remember, he's kind of been hanging out with all these like old head legends, right? Old Man Nestor, and then Old Man Nestor's one of his sons has been traveling with Telemachus to introduce him to like Menelaus and Helen of Troy. So he's meeting these people that are really important in his father's life and that are ruling correctly. So he's getting this tutelage. And we get some odd stuff here, but given when we were reading about the Vikings and we got really into that book, Children of Ash and Elm, and then we had a pretty good conversation about gift giving as their economy and how you're literally buying favors, and it's just a cultural difference. It's not seen as corrupt, it's seen as the thing you do, and it compels you to do things like raid and wage war because you need to keep buying gifts. And then it made me think of Genghis Khan and all the Khans, how they famously had like the worst eating bowls of all their generals because they require the least because they give out the most to accrue the power. And Menelaus is showing Telemachus here that he is that guy, and he's freaking out that Telemachus wants to leave because he wants to make sure he gives him gifts. And him and Helen give him a couple gifts. So I think he gets like a wedding gown for whoever his future wife may be. She'll have a nice gown from Helen, which is pretty good flex. Menelaus gives him a bowl made by a god or something, like a mixing bowl.
I'll take a bowl from a god.
If making your cake, you're whisking that thing. Like, fucking God made this. That's nice. All right. And we just get some interconnection, almost interweaving here where Telemachus is saying, like, you did so good. Menelaus is saying, make sure you tell Nestor that I did it right. And Telemachus is saying, not only did you do it right, but if my dad was here, I'd also tell him that you did it right. Kind of showing that they're doing this not just for it being the right thing, but they're trying to maintain alliances and they're trying to maintain favor with one another. Like, just tell everybody I did it. Like, there's no shame in doing that. You don't need to be humble about it. You need everybody actually to know, or else it doesn't count for anything because it's a very public offering. It's interesting.
It's kind of like how nowadays, if you didn't post it on social media, it never fucking happened.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's my first question is when kids tell me that they did something at their, one of my students is like, oh, I got a home run at my baseball game. I'm like, is it on TikTok? And they say, no. I'm like, then I don't fucking believe you.
That's how I am with our Strava.
Yeah. Oh, is that how you feel about it?
Dude, the Strava game is intense.
It is interesting though. Wait, this point you bring up about accountability and wanting accountability and wanting acknowledgement of something.
Right.
It's interesting.
And it's not a bad thing in this culture. Because literally they have no other way to make sure that they're currying favors correctly.
Sometimes that's legitimately the point.
Absolutely.
Sometimes that's legitimately the point. It's even we've been mentioning this episode a lot, this series, but the ancient sports and combat with Nick.
That's going to come up again in this episode.
When we were talking about why do people do it, and we essentially, one of the reasons that we came up with and that they came up with was glory and bragging, right?
You're Rete, your God-given talents.
Yeah.
You're going to waste your God-given...
Yeah. Isn't it sad that is now morphed into a resume now? Wouldn't you say that is like the... Right?
It is sad.
Kind of.
It feels like I understand the progression to it. You make it almost benign.
Well said.
Yeah. But certain parts of our culture is just more complicated now.
Yeah, a lot of nuance.
With all the access we have to it. And you're saying if you posted it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't count. Because then the other side of the rhetoric side of it is it doesn't matter. Because if you post it, I'll make fun of you for posting. And if you don't post it, I'll make fun of you for not posting. You know, I can go either way on this.
For
and
sure.
so it gives me more ammo just to the fact that is a lever you're supposed to pull.
Man, that's a hell interesting concept. Listeners, hit us up. Let us know. How many things do you do for... How many things would you no longer do if there was no recognition involved?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Think about it. Let it cook.
I'm letting it cook. And that's pretty much all we need to know about book 15. We get some side story on a slave in 15. I don't really want to go into it because I feel like there's obviously something I missed in the reading of it, and I could tell that, but I couldn't tell what it was, and I didn't have time to go through a bunch of essays on it. But it's definitely showing like the reversal of fate that can happen in this culture. That you could be a king one day and then a slave the next, because pirates exist and Greeks exist, and they will capture princesses of Troy all the time, as we've seen. You know, Helen got recaptured and brought back. So it was just, there's something there about how quickly it all switches for them if they're not careful.
It's an important lesson to learn because it happens in reality. Like when I'm doing so much studying of secessions within the, the history of the British Kingdom and all that.
Yep.
Right? And there will be times where, because of lineage, a child accidentally becomes a king. Yeah. And then everyone around them, you have to kind of just figure out how to dethrone this fucker, dude.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's one of the great plots of Legend of the Galactic Heroes, which is the goated.
But the point is that you can be a king one day and then be dethroned the next.
Absolutely.
And I think that's cool that the myths have what this chapter that you were having a hard time decipher.
Yeah, it's definitely talking about it. Then we go on to book 16. All right, so book 16 for Telemachus, because remember, the part that I feel like people get wrong still, like modern readers, and I don't know, even on Instagram, I see a lot of people posting about the Odyssey, probably because my algorithm is skewed that way. And I don't mind it because a lot of it is people doing the ancient Greek reading, so I could hear the flow of it, which is dope. The flow is really good. And I also hear them reading the Iliad a lot. But what some people are saying, like, Odysseus never really changes, that's kind of true because we're within a framed narrative. And I think it's because people aren't giving enough credit to Telemachus being a part of Odysseus. And so he's going through his own hero's journey, which we talked about in our first episode. And in this one, Telemachus is in the innermost cave.
That sounds dark and metal.
Yeah, we had Odysseus in the innermost cave last time when he got the fortunes, because he got those prophecies, which there was one more prophecy that we didn't get to say yet because we didn't know about it, which we'll learn about today, which is odd and kind of fun. But what happens basically is that Odysseus is dressed as a beggar. You know, he's been magically hidden by Athene, and he's with the swineherd. Remember, that's where he was sleeping, and he was kind of testing out that swineherd guy. Then Telemachus comes in, and he has to essentially avoid getting ambushed because those suitors want to murder him. So he goes to the swineherd guy because he knows he's a legit dude. Odysseus gets turned back into normal enough for just Telemachus to see. And so Telemachus realizes, oh shit, that's not a beggar, that's my dad. And they start prepping for what to do. He's like, what's up, Dad? Let's go back home. And his dad's like, no. We're going to do this right. So I got some plans, and these plans are going to get very violent, and we're going to see what we can do with it. So what he wants is he wants Telemachus to go back with the suitors. So he wants them to go back to the courtyard. And then Odysseus is going to enter as a beggar, the swineherd or the cowherd, I forget which one exactly it is going to get him in. I think he says the swineherd at this point. And then Odysseus is going to give a signal, a little knowing head nod. Talked about head nods 2 episodes ago. To signal for Telemachus to start hiding all the spears and shields that he finds around the courtyard. Because ancient sports are a thing, and these guys are always doing sports. Even though these suitors kind of suck, they still are fun guys. And so they're still like throwing spears and stuff like that. I said swords, but I actually don't think any swords laying around he'd be able to get. But everybody has like their personal sword. He wouldn't be able to get those.
So they're removing that so that they have to be hand on hand and they can't be using their weapons, essentially.
And this is where literature readers, if you are just a delicate nerd like me, we miss the fun part. This is a fucking battle-hardened officer who is teaching his son that you want to overplan for this type of thing. That we are going to straight up murder all of these suitors, but we're not going to lose. And we will prepare our battle plans to make sure that we have it just so. Because Telemachus is like, let's go see Penelope, your wife. Like she's honestly pretty frustrating how much she's missing you, and it would make everything better. And he's like, nope, we have to really figure this out correctly.
Okay.
We also get some cool stuff. Athene appears right before she turns Odysseus from a beggar back into Odysseus for just a second to show Telemachus where she's invisible, but Odysseus can see her and the dogs can see her. So like animals can kind of see God sometimes.
That's fun.
It is fun.
Man, humans have always understood that dogs can kind of sense things that we can't, huh?
I think there's just this innate thing about humans and dogs that
it's crazy.
When we domesticate them, we're like, we really need one another.
Yeah. And we come up with all this lore of what they can do and can't do. Yeah, that's crazy.
Okay, the suitors are in trouble. I'm not going to focus too much on their names because there's a whole bunch of them. So just really quick, I did write down some numbers. So we have 52 from one city. They brought 6 servants. We have 24 from another country. 20 again from a third country. 12 from Ithaca, which is where they are right now. And then there's Medon, who is the herald. So he's the kind of guy who like shouts like, everyone has to come to the meeting today. Or he like comes into the square and, says the king's orders.
The town crier.
Yeah. They're called heralds. Remember? Because there's heralds in the Iliad that remember one got whacked in the head by fucking Agamemnon and died?
That's a fucked up job.
Dude, that's a fucked up job. You are the messenger of bad news.
Yeah, don't kill the messenger.
I bet most of the time it's, you have to pay your taxes today.
For sure. It's like, oh, this asshole's talking again. Yeah.
So there's Medon the herald. There's a minstrel. So he's the guy who like sings songs and tells the stories. He's their TV. And then there's 2 meat carvers, which I don't think feature again in the story, but they're there. It makes it feel more believable, probably. Okay, so the suitors are in trouble because the ambush didn't work, and so Eurymachus says, that's not good.
That sounds like European nachos.
It does.
Yum.
Hannah was saying it sounded like Yuri Macho Man.
I like that too.
I really like
a European Macho Man savage.
Yes, which I was like, that was more on brand than you realized. So Antinous, he says we need to kill him before he returns, or we need to head home.
Yeah,
and
this name's cool too.
Yeah,
you're an anti-noose guy.
You are anti-noose.
Yeah, that's good. No hanging of the noose on all that. I like it. I would say I'm anti-noose.
I am anti-noose, but he's basically saying we need to make a choice because let Telemachus back in. He obviously knew we were trying to ambush him. And so clearly he's got like the god's favors or something's going well for him. Antinous is not an idiot. I actually like his is the most, I don't agree with killing, young men, but they're already in it. They're already doing bad things and in trouble. So he's saying we need a decisive blow, which in terms of battle strategy is probably correct, right? Like let's retake initiative. That's not a bad idea. But again, there's like 100 of these dudes and they're all kind of shitheads. And so nothing's getting done. And then we have Amphetamine, or Amphinumus, And he says, he does remind them, he gives a good line where he says that, essentially killing nobles is not a small thing to do. Like, anybody who kills a noble is in trouble with our country. Like, Greeks are going to be mad
You
about
have a
it.
target on your back.
Yes. It's
Yeah.
not the same as killing a slave or killing a civilian. Like, if you and I were in ancient Greece and you killed me, the king, so like an Odysseus or a Telemachus, would probably just make you pay my family. If you had the cattle to pay whatever it was, the 2 talents of gold.
So one of status can get away with such things.
Well, I would say not having status almost lets you get away with more of it. Like, if you were just a civilian and I was just a civilian and you killed me, there's a monetary value that my family has lost in losing me.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you can get in trouble, but a lot of times you just pay whatever they say. So 2 ox or something like that, or however many sheep that's worth. And I think it's so that the city can function better. But they have kings and rulers, and so they need peasants not to murder them all the time. So so it's just a bigger deal in their culture. You can't do it. You can't hit that high. Even the nobles can't hit that high, which we'll see actually come back for Odysseus later on. So he says, let's wait and see what the gods say. Look for some signs.
Leave it to the gods.
Yep.
Inshallah.
Medon, the herald, goes and tells Penelope all this. So Penelope now knows that her son's in a little bit of trouble here.
Gossipy little bitch.
That's his job.
I
His
know,
job
you
is to be
have
a
to.
herald.
I know.
But he is gossipy. Okay, then we go to book 20. Oh, no, sorry. Book 17. Book 20. All right, so book 17 is great. We get a dinner party, as shown by Winnie the Pooh here. Telemachus is able to go back to Penelope during their dinner and kind of explain about the adventures that he's had, where he's been. He saw Nestor, he saw Menelaus, he saw Helen. Again, this is the cyclical nature of oral stories where they're going to repeat the whole story a bunch of times, and so I'm letting us skip a lot of that. But it's a lot of him saying, like, and then they found this, and then we found this, and they're all things that we've already learned.
Do you think they do that in case you missed an episode?
Yes,
if you're
and
just joining us,
I think the redundancy also helps the speaker of the story backfill when they forget.
okay.
So what if I went on a bender and the next day I had to go recite the Odyssey again, and I can't freaking remember, what happens in book 12, but I can remember what happens in book 17. So then that helps me remember what happens in book 12. Like the cyclical nature, the redundancy is to help the speaker, I believe. It also just helps it. The linguists really think it's to make the story last longer through time because it's not written down.
Well,
they're not wrong. I mean,
mission accomplished.
Yeah, we freaking have it. We get this one guy. We'll call him Theoclimedes. And he's like, I'm pretty sure Odysseus is already here in Ithaca, and I'm pretty sure he's going to kill us all.
Why does he have that hunch?
Because he's pretty good at reading signs.
Oh,
and so he sees like an eagle, and he's like, I think Odysseus is already here.
Got you.
I don't think he's dead.
Theoclimedia is really good at reading signs.
And if you're wondering why I'm struggling so much with the reading of these names, one, they're hard to read. But two, I was talking to Hannah for a while about this. We say Hercules, but that's the Latin Romanized version of a already translated Greek word, Heracles. And so Peter Green only gives me the stupid Greek spellings of everything, and they're not Romanized. So even if I could read them correctly, they aren't exactly like the words that we know from the characters.
Right.
So it just makes it...
It's like when people are like, that's so dumb in the Bible that the apostles and all them are Matthew, Luke. It's like, that's not their names. That's what we call them.
That's a good point. I never thought about that. Okay, so Odysseus is dressed as a beggar. He goes in to the courtyard from the swineherd, lets him in, and Odysseus's hunting dog, Argos, has survived like this 20 years. This dog is old as hell. And this dog looks at him, realizes that it's really Odysseus, not a beggar, and then dies.
Oh, that's fucked up. Mostly for Odyssey. I mean, for both parties, that's fucked up. This dog's been waiting for you. He's like, my master. Oh.
It's such a weird line. You're like, oh, okay, cool. Moving on, and then it just moves on. We do get a lot of Odysseus pausing at the thresholds of the courtyard into his place, which I think storytelling-wise is a lot of the thresholds between special world and ordinary world, and that he's towing that line, right? Is he back in his ordinary world, or is he not? And so the author constantly referencing the threshold, I think, is a reminder for us that he is not fully committed one way or another yet. Like, he is not totally Odysseus yet. He is still that traveler that will become Odysseus the hero. It's very interesting.
I like that.
And once he's inside, Athene gives him some really good advice that he was looking forward to, which is that he should just go around talking to all the suitors and just thinking about how he wants to kill each one of them individually. And he does. He spends a long time. He spends up until he gets incredibly violent in this book, he's going to spend it walking around thinking about how much he wants to kill everybody.
And talking to them
Yeah.
to figure out how he's going to kill them?
Yeah, just making sure that they really deserve the death that he's
So
imagining.
some human intelligence. He's doing some counter and human intelligence right now. That's crazy.
As a beggar. So he's walking around, he's essentially asking for scraps of food.
Yeah.
And they Antinous, he hates Odysseus the beggar. And he throws a stool at him.
Oh, dude, this is my favorite part.
He just chucks a stool, and Odysseus just fucking tanks it.
Okay, I have to explain something right now. All right, so there I was, freshman year of high school at Fairfield High School, and me and Alan, friend of the pod's been on the show.
Love Alan.
Me and Alan, we're
Alan, you never texted me what the Recon Marine motto is, and I know you listen to it, asshole.
Yeah, you dick. So yeah, I know he knows it because he texted me. He's like, I watched The Punisher, the new one, and it made me cry because they talk about the what you were literally.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they quote it in like the beginning or something. Anywho,
sorry,
we're covering the Odyssey in freshman year of high school, right? And we get to watch the movie, the Hallmark movie.
So good.
And this scene that you're explaining, dude, is filmed perfectly, dude. We're sitting there watching the film, and there's this scene where this old man is in the hallway, and Antinous throws this thing at him, and it like splinters, bro.
That's how it's described.
It splinters, and the dude just turns around and looks, and me and Alan died, bro. It was not composure. We laughed our asses off. It was perfectly filmed.
I'm really proud of that movie for getting it right, because that's the way it reads. It's comical because they like throw it at a beggar like he's just some piece of shit, and then he was gonna fall over, and he's just like, your attacks have no damage.
Everywhere. It's great. It's awesome. Thank you for listening to my story.
I loved it. Now Penelope calls over Odysseus and says, like, you're an interesting looking beggar who just tanked a stool to the face. I heard you might know a little bit about my husband, because he told the swineherd that he worked with Odysseus for a while. Remember, he gave that long backstory that I didn't go into, but that he makes up lies about his heritage all the time. That's one of Odysseus's fun things that he plays on people. He'll even play it against Athena, and Athena's like, I know it's you. I'm the one who disguised you. But that's just who he is.
He gets to like ad-lib fun things about his heritage.
He just gets to make up stories about which character he is right now.
And that's fun.
It is fun, and he loves it. He's really good at it. He makes really believable, weird stories.
Man, when I was coaching at Fairmont and I like hated my life and I was only there one day a week, there would be some like adult teachers that didn't know me, and they'd be like, what was your name again? And I'd give them a different name every time.
That's fun.
Yeah, I'd be like, Coach Xavier.
In college, I used to give fake drunk like tours of my house. Where I talk about like, Hitler's third cousin used to sleep in that room back there, but we had to kick them out after. Like all these like weird, whatever came to my mind that day.
Yeah, it's fun.
It is fun. And, I'm thinking about it. That's probably the type of flavor that would change depending on the speaker telling the story that night. Because I bet that's a fun ad-lib part, and that I would have fun telling, whatever popped into my head from guys I met around the bar that day. And
For sure.
Whereas you in a different town may do it differently,
Oh, it's
depending
very
on.
fluid.
Yeah, I think that would be a part you have a lot of flexibility on.
Oh,
Kind of
that's so
flexier.
much fun.
Yeah, I'm in my head now. That's how they did it, and we just got the last one Homer said when he wrote it down.
Everyone's homework assignment this week, if you're listening, is to make up a story to a stranger and then email us or hit us up on the
Yes.
social webs and let us know how that went. It's kind of like in Fight Club when they say, you got to go out and get a fight. We're telling you to go out and lie.
Absolutely, make a fun story. And if you want to do it at Odysseus' level, you have to interact with you at some point in your story.
Whoa.
So, like, if I was doing it, it had to be, I was thinking I could make it be another teacher that worked with Kevin at some point, but then I had to leave because of some family trauma or something.
Oh, dang.
That's what Odysseus is doing. That's what
dope.
Odysseus is doing. That's an extra level of
That
cool.
is some extra level fucking psychosis.
He's not okay. You will learn by the end. He's not okay. We think he's okay.
No, I mean, this clearly, bro. Clearly. This is insane.
But he does tell Penelope, we have to wait till the night. We have to wait till everything dies down before I talk to you about Odysseus. And she's like, I understand, because Penelope gets to do some flexing in this episode, which is fun. Okay. Book 18, we get bum fights. We just get straight up ancient bum fights, and it's a little rough.
Can we talk about this moment in human history that we were a part of? Because millennials were very much tapped into that. Bum
Yes.
fights. You remember?
Oh,
On the internet?
I remember bum fights.
Did you watch your fair share?
I didn't, because it made me so sad.
It's very sad. It's very sad.
But people talked about bum fights every day for
Oh,
a
yeah.
year.
No,
for
it's
like
a
a
thing.
year.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
It was very... How old were we? Middle school?
It had to have been late middle school or early high school, right?
Dude, that was like the early makings of the dark
I
web.
was like 2004-ish, right?
yeah,
had
it
to
was
have been.
crazy. Crazy.
It
We
was
all
before I had a
remember.
license, because I remember it was just people sitting around courtyard, so it had to be before
Right.
cars.
Right.
Damn.
Yikes.
All right, yeah, give us a little history of bum fights from what you remember.
Dude, well, it was quite exploitive. I
It's
mean,
not good.
yeah, no, he would pay them to do some fucked up things, and some of it wasn't even fighting, if you remember. Sometimes he would like pay them to drink
Stab.
piss and
Yeah.
shit like
Or
that.
stab people with screwdrivers.
Yeah. It was fucked up.
I think that was the one I actually watched. I was like,
And then
not for me.
this guy, the creator of it, I believe he went on Dr. Phil, if you remember.
Yes, he was actually really good on Dr. Phil.
Because
He dressed up as Dr. Phil. And then he explains that Dr. Phil is doing the same thing that he's doing.
Kinda, he is exploiting people's problems.
Dr. Phil sucks.
Dude, Dr. Phil is the fucking Sea World of therapy.
He's terrible. And he was on it. He's on a late episode of Frasier, and I really don't like it.
Wait, really?
Yeah. There's a really there's a rare miss for Frasier, which
And
is
he
almost a
plays
perfect
like he's
show.
on the radio? Is he also on the show?
He's like
or-
on the show, like he
as like a doctor.
as Dr. Phil. Yeah, I was like, actually, this doesn't do well. Whatever.
All right, so the Odyssey's got bum fights, and we also had bum fights in modern history.
Yep.
And it didn't age well.
I imagine bum fights have been around for a long, long time. if we're being super duper honest, before TV, bum fights are probably more prevalent.
Now, we also have to remember, like, slaves also were probably paid to fight each other.
Absolutely.
Like that. Do we fit this in the same category?
No, these are beggars.
Okay.
So these are you get a little bit of politicking. It would be interesting to read it in a high level poli-sci class, like a political class, because characters are dropping like one-liners about the worst thing in a society is homelessness. So not slavery. There's interesting things, because then that begs the question, how do you become homeless and not a slave? Can't people just pick you up? But no. So trying to flesh out ancient societal rules would be an interesting class, but it would take
Hell
forever to
yeah.
figure that out.
Yeah.
Right? That'd be a lot of legwork, but you would need a class to do it. You could probably write a small book off of that
For
class.
sure.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So the bum fight is between Odysseus, because everyone thinks he's a beggar, and this other beggar named Eros, or Iros. And Iros kind of starts it. It's kind of fucked up, because he goes in and he's like, what's this beggar doing here? This is my territory. This is where I beg. And Odysseus is not having any of it, even though he knows he looks like a beggar. He's like, I'm fucking Odysseus. This is my home. But he doesn't say that. Instead, he says, get out of here. I'll punch you in the face. And then all the suitors are drunk and eating. They're like, bum fight. Bum fight, everybody. The winner gets, and then they put 2 good cuts of meat on the fire. Winner gets the 2 good cuts of meat. And
Sick.
they're like, Bums are like, say less, friend. So it does not go well for Iros because they, we learned in our ancient warfare, they strip down to fight, right? So that it's honorable. Because I saw one guy wrestling. We always told, tucking the shirts real tight. Guy didn't tuck in his shirt, and I watched that guy's finger get shoved in and up. And then I watched the wrestling coach grab him by his finger and say, "Stop crying, baby," and drove him to the hospital. It was crazy.
That's a very Vacaville wrestling story.
Yeah.
So it makes it even being stripped down.
Yeah, but then they all look and they're like, Odysseus the beggar is pretty jacked.
Yeah. He's yoked as shit.
And Odysseus has been fighting in wars or going on dangerous, campaigns for about 20 years now. So he is the hardest man, essentially, that you can be without being Achilles.
He understands warfare, fighting.
So he almost kills Iros, but at the last second, he kind of decides, I shouldn't kill him because that'd be too much. It'd be too much attention. So he just breaks his face open, essentially. It described it, the way that I read it, is that his jaw's gone in slightly. Like, it's not there all the way anymore.
Dude rips his jaw off.
He punches him so hard, I think he just shatters all the bones on one side of his jaw. That's the way that I saw it in my head when I read it. And it kind of tracks for where Odysseus is at with his anger right now. That's him thinking he's pulling a punch.
How old is Eros?
Oh, he's an old-ass beggar.
Okay. So they are the same age kind of going on.
I imagine Eros is older than Odysseus, but he's definitely not been eating as well and sleeping with goddesses and stuff.
So this was never fair.
No, it was never fair.
Fuck.
It's worse than bump fights. Penelope then talks to the whole group and Odysseus, and she is kind of doing some double speak that's a little confusing because it's hard to match what's going on with I don't get all the references she's making or how it works as double speech, but we know it's double speech because Odysseus takes a second and just appreciates how much that she's beguiling the suitors into gift giving and confusing them while she's clearly directing her thoughts somewhere else. So she's doing three things at once while speaking, which is we're supposed to recognize this is a woman that is worthy of the man Odysseus.
Okay.
Which is sick, right? That she's just there, talking laps around these guys and they can't do anything about it. I don't know what it is. I don't know what she's actually saying to them. The suitors behave very poorly while Odysseus stares at the fire. There's my note. Because what's happening is they are not saying great things, and they're eating all the food, and they're not really listening to Penelope or Telemachus. And Odysseus is literally just staring into the fire this whole time, fantasizing about killing all of them individually.
Oh, jeez.
He's in it right now.
What's that book that you mention a lot? Is it Heart of Darkness?
Yeah, Heart of Darkness is really good.
That sounds like some Apocalypse Now, fucked up, staring at a fire.
Ooh. Heart of Darkness is actually not bad.
No?
Because him leaving Ithaca would represent him. Heart of Darkness is about leaving the collective society. Morals are actually just bound by the society's borders. So as he leaves it, he goes into darkness and true human existence, which is not good. But the difference is that Odysseus is coming back. Mm-hmm. He's trying to reconcile what he saw out there and who he is in here.
It's just an intense moment, I imagine, staring at the fire and thinking about all the folks you're going to murk.
Yeah.
That's a dark place to go.
Carefully. Also, I think Matt Damon could crush that scene.
I agree.
He could really do that scene.
There's a lot of things going on the internet about people's expectations of this film. Are we going to get to that at some point when Achilles comes up? Have we? Because we need to address this Achilles thing at some. When is a good moment to address this?
I got a part.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yep. All right. So now we go on to book 19. This is essentially solving two things. All that's really going to happen in book 19 is that we're going to get Penelope and Odysseus talking to each other, And then we're going to get Telemachus putting away the weapons, because those are things that need to happen before they can murder everybody. So Odysseus gives Telemachus the head nod, and Telemachus sees that everybody's drunk, and they're kind of laughing, and they're listening to minstrel stories and stuff.
What do you think the head nod looks like?
I think it's one of those.
Hey, but like can't you get some cross wires in there?
Not
If
it's
you're
your
like,
son.
hey bro, are you drunk? And he's like, murder!
Well, I remember it's Odysseus as a beggar staring at a fire with seething rage, and then he just looks up finally at Telemachus and just gives him yes, and just goes back to staring at the fire.
This is the
Yeah,
sign.
I don't think Telemachus is misinterpreting that sign. Like, okay,
Okay, all right.
and I see Telemachus as not necessarily effeminate, but he is in my head, and I don't know if I'm reading him wrong, but I see him not as a mean guy. And I know he kind of talks like he is, and so you could maybe read him straightforward, but I just don't see it in his actions.
You feel softness from him.
I do,
That's fine.
in some way or another.
That's fine.
And so I see him being like, oh, God.
Okay.
And, that might be my own projection of, like, when my dad has been like, it's time to man up, and, like, I do need to, but this is harder for me than it is for
sure,
you.
for sure.
Right, that kind of thing. So he goes and he starts giving taking away all the spears and all the shields. This is also a great moment because Telemachus and Odysseus are putting them away. They're sneaking around. So Athene puts out like a glowing lamp in front of them, and Telemachus is like, "Holy shit! Is that a glowing lamp from the gods?" And Odysseus is like, "Shut the fuck up!" Like, don't
Yeah,
talk.
you're gonna give us away.
But I really like it because Telemachus is having an actual normal human response to
Yeah.
seeing magic, like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, absolutely.
And Odysseus is like, "We can't talk about this. Like,
Yeah.
you got to just keep moving." There is one maid that starts questioning Odysseus. This is her second time actually questioning it. And the first time, he's like, "Listen, I will fucking kill you." And she got really scared and she started doing it again. And he's like, "What part about fucking kill you do not understand?" And he's getting ready to kill her and she freaks out again. So she's kind of a spy for the suitors, we think. She's no good. But Penelope goes and sits on her throne in their chamber. Not the bed chamber, but this kind of hallway, and Odysseus comes to speak with her. Penelope asks questions because she doesn't believe this beggar, and so she needs proof that he really knew Odysseus. And he's able to provide, like Odysseus would, just enough evidence to show that he did know Odysseus. So the right two-tone cloak that he would have worn, that would be the right one that would have been tattered because he would have worn it so much. Like a lot of cool little secret things. Odysseus and Penelope have a lot of secret codes that they've already like pre-programmed to each other
That's fun.
that he's starting to hit.
That's some good lore.
It's cool. She also reveals that she has been hearing certain stories. So she knew about Helios and the cattle, and that they ate sacred cattle and that fucked them up. So it begs the question of how much does Penelope actually know? She may know a lot more. She may know that this is Odysseus.
Yeah.
And through just what we get in the book, we don't know that. We believe that she doesn't know, but a lot of modern retellings and trying to make Penelope have a little more presence in the story, it's not even a big jump to just say that she knows that it's Odysseus the whole time. She's like, of course I know my fucking husband that I have secret codes with because we're obsessed with each other. Like,
Right.
we're not the random couple that just got married before he enlisted. Like, this isn't that story, which is kind of dope. And I like the modern retellings of that. I don't feel like it's stretching anything to make that happen. She also gives a cold ass line, which I like. She says, "Man's life is short, and a hard man is cursed while he lives and mocked while he's dead."
Yeah, that's tight.
It's a dope line. She then gives the counter side of it. "A decent man is much praised, and his guests spread his fame." It's cool. Okay, so, and she said that because she wanted to give him like a bed. She's like, "Hey, you knew my husband. You gave me valuable intel. Like, let me pay you with a good place to sleep. I'll get you some nice clothes, wash you up." And he says, "No, but I will. If you have an old lady that can wash my feet, that would be cool. Like somebody of my level." Because he doesn't want somebody like super hot washing his gross ass feet. It's like weird. The women things that happen at the end of this are not okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Give me an old lady to wash my feet.
It's
They're grimy.
And so Euryclea, she comes to wash his feet. And she's great. I like her because she just walks up to him and she's like, "This is fucking Odysseus."
Oh, she knows immediately.
She knows, but she has to pretend like she doesn't. So she's washing his feet, and then she's like washing his legs.
Tell by the smell of your feet.
It turns out she like essentially raised him. Like
Oh, okay.
she was like his what do you call them? Milkmaid,
A nanny?
but that actually would breastfeed for the
Oh.
mom. So in Greek culture, I think a lot of the slave maids, the higher up ones, would breastfeed for the moms.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I don't know the name of that.
I don't know if that's just in the stories. I've read it a bunch in stories, and so I don't know if that's real or not. But that came up in the Iliad. So then she's washing his legs, and she sees this giant scar. And she knows that when Odysseus was a boy, he hunted a giant boar, and it gored him with its tusk in his leg. And so she's like, yeah, Odysseus had a scar just like this. You're Odysseus. I've already known. Like, you think I wouldn't know Odysseus, the boy that I, helped raise? And he grabs her like by the throat, and he's like, I will fucking kill you right now. Like, you are not going to expose me to this. And she basically says, like, I'm no bitch. Like, I'm already on your level. I know what you're doing. Like, we're gonna do this.
I know Snitch.
Dude, she was already ready to go, and she was. I feel like if I was retelling her story, offended that he didn't realize that she was already on the up and up about what he was about to do. Which I think is fun for her character, and I think everybody should read her character that way. It's a way better character than just scared and then being like, why would I tell anybody? Like, no, she knows. She's mad at him for not being.
I raised you, bro.
Why do you think you're so clever? Because I'm so clever.
Yeah,
like
I
that.
Got you.
Then Penelope and Odysseus, they speak about dreams for a while, and you would like it because Penelope gives a dream where like a flock of geese are murdered by an eagle, and Odysseus is like, yeah, sounds like all your suitors are about to die. And she's like, no. Dreams can be ambiguous and deceptive. They have two gates of horn and ivory. And she explains that the ivory gate is all lies, but the horn gate is truth. And that's the hard part of dreams.
I love that.
It's really good.
Yeah, dude. Like, no. Sometimes dreams mean fucking nothing.
Horn and ivory.
Mm-hmm.
Then she explains that she's had this idea that she kind of wants to make the suitors have to do a test that only her husband can do, which is, and this is we'll have to do a little mini tangent here, that her husband, Odysseus, used to like to put up 12 axes in a row, and the axes have holes on them, and he would shoot his arrow through all 12 of them. This is weird because axes aren't built like that. And it's something that people have been struggling with forever. Some people have been trying to make a case that those axes were like a real axe, but that seemed, I've not read a convincing argument to it. Then I've read some that saying it's just a literary convention, but it doesn't feel like one. It feels like something based off of sporting or Olympics because of how much sports and Olympics have been in this. So I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it could be. Man, I don't know. Part of me was thinking in interpretation. Like, it's just one of those things that got lost in interpretation over time.
Yeah.
Or they mean something else by it. Maybe it is a sport, right? But I don't know. Because that is an odd thing that there's. So, my understanding is that the axe blade has a hole through it.
Yeah, kind
correct?
of where the axe blade meets the wood shaft.
And they would line them up. I'm wondering how far apart.
We don't know how far
The
apart.
idea is that his arrow is so straight it goes all the way through all 12.
I reread the scene today, and basically what we do know, like what's in the text, is that you put the axes standing straight up and you hammer them in because they talk about that.
Okay.
But we only get a couple lines because everything's rhyming and moving so fast that that's basically all we get for it.
It's just really... I'm confused why like it would be axes with holes.
That's
in
the
them.
part that everybody's like, why not just targets? Like clearly
Yeah,
archery
exactly.
targets are a thing, so why axes?
I don't understand the significance both symbolically or literarily.
Right.
So that's just a mystery.
Because as a literary device, my hang up on it, why I don't think it is, and I haven't read this, but this is just my personal reading on it, is if I'm trying to remove weapons, why would I then put a bunch of axes on there? As a storytelling, unless that's actually like a thing that people know and they clearly don't work as weapons because it's not how they work. Or
Part of me wants to like lean on the thing that was just told us about dreams, and sometimes things in stories are also ambiguous and don't make sense.
It's true.
You know?
Yeah. It's hard because it feels like when we read about ancient battles and they're like, and you know what happens when two armies collide? And like, no, we don't. And that's like a huge, stop saying that we know this. Like, I need context.
Yeah.
So book 20. This is the start of the ordeal. We get Odysseus here. He's not going to be talking about women very positively for the rest of the story, except for his wife. And he says, like a dog growling to protect her puppies, Odysseus growled, wondering if he should kill the servant sleeping with the suitors.
An hour later.
Right. Not if he should kill them at all. If
Just
he should
when?
go kill them right now. If
Yeah.
he should go walk up to each of them that are sleeping, that are having sex, and stab them slowly. And he's growling while laying down trying to sleep, holding his sword. It's poor behavior on Odysseus. He's really letting himself down.
Yikes, dude.
Yeah, it's not
Is
good.
this some like deranged PTSD? This is where people are afraid of veterans, where they're like, hey man, you got some shit going on.
Yes.
And he's about to, like, I feel like I'm listening to a scene in America. Did you watch American Sniper?
Yes.
So that feels that. It's giving that.
It feels very PTSD-ish.
Yes.
Of like,
dark.
well, because if we're thinking through it, my take on these maids and servants, you know, they're all, if their stories are consistent with the stories we've been told about certain slaves and maids of nobility, they were probably pretty high class because high nobility already, because they understand how to work with those families, and they've been captured or raided and treated fairly well, but they have to do the bidding of whoever's fucking telling them what to do. They don't have any autonomy on this. And so they're probably being compelled to do this. And their master's been away for 20 years. Most of them probably never met him.
I also think that the mention of dogs a lot is interesting.
And they don't actually say dog here, they say bitch.
Oh, truly?
Yeah, but it's not a derogatory bitch.
But even for some reason, dogs and also PTSD are a weird
Yeah.
mixture. And they mentioned this in American Sniper too. There's like a scene where he's at a party and a dog comes up and he like, I don't know if you remember this. He takes the dog to the ground and is about to stab it.
No.
Yes.
I do not remember that.
So, and this is a thing, dude. This is a dark reality I'm about to unfortunately share that I've never, I don't really share or talk about. But veterans are kind of known for getting drunk and beating their dogs.
Yeah.
This is a thing. And I have a theory why throughout history, if this is like a thing. But I feel like in war, dogs can either be obviously helpful and like deliver things from one person to another.
Right.
But dogs can also give away position.
They can. They're dangerous. Yeah.
So I feel like killing dogs in war is something that a lot of people who've seen war can understand and affiliate with. So when you go back into normal society and you see dogs, you kind of just view dogs differently a little bit.
Sure.
You know
Do you
what I
think
mean?
it's also wanting to dominate?
Oh, whoa, true.
Because
Right.
dogs, there is a pecking order between dogs and people.
Truly.
And I could see somebody wanting to abuse that relationship.
Whoa, yeah, that's also a thing. Hit us up, psychologists. Why are veterans fucked up to dogs sometimes? And vice versa. Sometimes dogs are great for veterans.
Sometimes, huh?
Mhm.
They can be very healing.
Mhm.
Check on your veterans in your life, please. Okay, so anyway, the cowherd, so he's the guy who, herds the cows around, Phil. He is still loyal, and Odysseus is hanging out with him right now. That's the only thing that really matters right here. We go to book 21, and this is an interesting part because for the hero's journey, Telemachus is now in the ordeal. This is his Supreme Ordeal. It's step 8. He's in the thick of it. But this is also for Odysseus the last step of the hero's journey, which is called Returning with the Elixir, where you return to your homeland, proven that you've changed or with the ability to heal the damaged land, which in this case he needs both, right? He needs to show that he's learned the lessons of how to treat the gods so that he can live long enough to rule, and he needs to kick all these suitors out because they're going to destroy his kingdom. We get Penelope setting up for the game. So she brings out a bunch of treasure. She brings out Odysseus's famous bow. This is not the bow he used in the Iliad, but if you remember in the Iliad, Odysseus is a good shot. Odysseus he's good at what he does. And this bow, like many of these legendary weapons, has this history We know the last two owners. It's kind of almost related to Heracles. Like it touches tips with a story related to Heracles.
Touching tips.
So that's enough, right? If I imagine that if Heracles walked through your village, everything in that village now has a story connected to Heracles being near it, because that's dope. And Penelope gives the rules for her game. Her game is simple. All you have to do is string his bow, because remember, bows are not strung, right? You string them before you fire them because you don't want to ruin the integrity of the bow itself.
The good wood.
Yeah. Then you shoot through the 12 axes, and then you marry her. That's it. Easy peasy. Telemachus, surprisingly, kind of gets a little sure of himself here, has a moment of some hubris, and says, I'm going to do it. This is my home too. I'm going to compete. I'm not going to marry my mom. I'll send her away, and then I'm going to laugh as I kick you all out. And he starts to do it. He's trying to string the bow. It's his fourth attempt, and he's just about to get it. And then he looks up and sees the brooding Odysseus, who's, again, not in a good spot.
Yeah.
And Odysseus is just staring daggers at him like, do not fuck this up for me. And then Telemachus just kind of lets it slip and doesn't string it. And says, oh, I can't do it. I guess I'm not strong enough, and goes and sits down, like totally gun shy, trying to steel himself up for whatever his dad has planned for him. A bunch of guys try. No one can do it. And you learn a little bit about stringing bows, which is cool. It seems like you heat up the wood sometimes on fire to soften the wood. That way you can make it. Because you want these, these aren't compound bows, which means that the stronger the wood, the further this thing's going to shoot. And the straighter it's going to shoot. That matters.
Yeah, I believe these are called recurve bows.
Yeah, I think recurve would make sense. I don't know exactly. The names of bows are so interesting.
Archery's fucking cool.
It is cool. In Louisiana, we got a little bit into some recurve bow. It's fun.
Yeah,
fun, brother.
I did it in college. It was fucking awesome. Loved it.
Then Odysseus, he's just like, can I try? And the suitors are like, no, you cannot try. But Penelope says, yeah, you can try. This is my contest. But the suitors were saying, like, listen, he can't try. One, because he's either going to make a fool of himself, or what if he fucking does it? He's going to make us all look like idiots. We can't let him do it, which is fair. But Odysseus is allowed to try. Right as he's about to try, he kind of gives a signal to our old lady, Euryclea.
This is another one of those signals.
Another one of those things.
But he's already fuming, dude.
No, I think he told her this one the night before.
Oh, okay.
I either didn't write it down or it's subtext.
Now when I stick my tongue out and I wiggle it back and forth and I'm drooling.
Well, I think he basically warned her, like, once I have the bow, I'm going to start killing.
Look for this.
So when I have the bow, take all the women and hide them.
Yeah.
Because it's going to get very intense. And I think also what he's really saying is, I'm not going to be able to control the bloodlust once it starts. So, like, get the women out because I want to deal with them later.
Once it hits your lips, it just tastes so good.
It's so scary reading through Odysseus' descent into fucking madness. And he strings the bow like a musician strings his instrument, which is a dope line.
Is that how it's explained?
Yeah.
I love that.
He then immediately makes the shot. So everyone's freaking out.
And it's perfect, isn't it?
It's absolutely perfect.
Yeah, of course.
So he makes the shot, and then he immediately he knocks another bow, or another arrow, looks at Antinous, and fucking shoots him.
Bye-bye!
He hits him in the neck, the dude goes
gone,
down,
yeah.
he's
you're
done.
gone.
And remember, this bow is so taut that people can't even string it. So you think machine guns, like this is like a 45 Desert Eagle, something like this.
This is revenge for throwing a
Good
stool at me.
He's not only had a stool, he's had a stool thrown at him. They threw another stool, I think, and he ducked it. And they also threw the hooves of like a cow. They threw one at him, and he had to dodge that one too.
It's just tight, because that means they threw it at him, and he turned around, and in his mind, he's like, bitch, I'm going to kill you.
Dude, a character literally says, I shouldn't have thrown the hoof at you.
Correct.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, you did fuck up there. That was on you. Okay, so he reveals himself after he kills Antinous. He's like, I'm Odysseus. I'm back. This is my place.
I'm back, baby.
And the suitors, this is an interesting part. The suitors offer to pay for their crimes. They're like, listen, this is on us. You're back. We have been kind of fucking up. We all come from noble houses from like 4 different countries. We will pay reparations for all this. And remember, we've talked about this many times. That's kind of the rules of the game.
It's a surrender. It's
like a supplication almost.
Yeah. So,
but it's even better because they're gonna pay the hostage fee.
So, does he let them do it?
No.
I love it. I'm sorry that I love that, but I do love that.
Odysseus
sorry, bro.
literally just gives like I'm good.
Yeah, dude. Fuck that.
He says something to the effect of, it doesn't matter what you offer me, right? At this point, like, you're done. And the suitors this is a fun part because the suitors draw their swords and then they flip over the little tables and use them as shields.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's like a real battle right now. It's kind of fun. And so it's Telemachus and Odysseus. And Telemachus has 1 spear.
Telemachus is still alive? Oh, no, I'm thinking of Antinous.
Antinous is fucking dead.
Telemachus is still alive.
He shoots Yuri Macho Man, European Macho Man. He gets shot in the liver.
Bye.
Done. Amphetamines. He was... we don't know what his real name is. Nobody knows. So he was speared by Telemachus in the back as he was approaching his dad. So Telemachus is kind of holding his own right here. First time killing a man, 18.
First time killing a man.
Stabbed a dude in the neck.
Did he kill a person before he had sex with a woman?
Yeah, absolutely.
Crazy.
I think so, unless there is some subtext that we don't know about their society of would it be normal for them to sleep with like the housemaids when they're younger? I don't know.
Because I always like think back. Obviously, this is a movie, so it doesn't fucking matter. But in 300, when he's like, he has not felt the warmth of a woman's body yet. And you're like, oh yeah.
Yeah, probably. The vibe I get from Telemachus, he's not done the deed yet.
Okay.
And then Telemachus says, I should go grab armor from the storehouse. Remember, that's where they were hiding all the weapons earlier? He's like, I should go do it. And he says, yes, go do it. And then we also have some cool battle strategies. We have Phil, the cowherd. Earlier, he had walked out and closed the court doors secretly and then tied them with shipping cable. So they're all locked shut. So these dudes are fucking locked. There's nowhere to go. It's not good. So then while Odysseus is covering them, they come back. And then we have this great moment of Odysseus, Telemachus, Phil, and the swineherd. And they're armored up. And they have spears and swords. And Odysseus has his bow. And they're like, game on, guys. Let's do this. And they start just fucking fighting people.
And Odysseus is mainly just using his bow.
He's using his bow right now. He'll switch to a spear soon. Because he was covering so that the other guys could go grab the armor. And I imagine he's covering them. He said, while I have arrows, because he only has a certain amount, he's like, as long as I have arrows, I can keep them at bay. Because anybody who approaches, I can get them. So they're all kind of, there's a good distance, we think, between the suitors and Odysseus, who's covering for Telemachus, that's armoring up the...
So he's covering fire.
Yeah.
Like, you go do that?
He's literally giving covering fire.
That's tight.
And they're doing moving under covering fire, which is moving under cover fire is huge, right?
That's very Marine Corps.
Yes, absolutely Marine Corps stuff. Which is fun. Like those tactics are old as
sick
fuck.
As fuck. That's dope. Yeah. Shoot, maneuver, and communicate. Yep. I love it.
Right. While he's shooting, he's getting like elbow pads on, right? I love it. It's great. So, unfortunately, Telemachus has a slip up here. Telemachus didn't lock the storehouse. Because he's, which I like. This is a very human moment. You're 18.
He's a kid.
Your dad's back. Dad, you're alive, right? We have to kill people, and then you're doing it. But I imagine that this feels very real. You're not thinking things through, and you're not thinking, I need to lock the door really tight. You're thinking, I need to get the armor to my dad before he dies.
Yeah.
So he left it open, and the guy snuck in and got some spears and got some armor.
He did what Kevin likes to call a whoopsie daisy.
It was a whoopsie daisy. It was a whoopsie-daisy. So the guy's name is Melanthios, and he was able to grab some armor and some spears before they were able to figure out what was going on. And then when he was sneaking back like a second or third time, we have the swineherd and the cowherd. They get told by Odysseus. Odysseus says, Telemachus and I will hold position. You two go back and stop the supply chain. Stop them from getting more armor. So capture that guy. Don't kill him yet, though. string him up. I'm going to kill him later. And they're like, okay.
Pretty weird.
So they do it.
Odysseus is getting real murdery.
He's enjoying himself right now.
Yeah.
It's dangerous, and Telemachus is freaking out. The swineherd's freaking out. The cowherd's freaking out. But Odysseus is in his element. This is where he thrives. He's barking out a lot of good orders. Like he stops supply chain in the middle of a tiny action. Like that's really forward thinking.
Man, is this like a form of release for him, do you think?
Yes.
Okay.
I think this is absolutely a cathartic moment for him. And we'll see it get to, I think, catharsis for PTSD, whatever it was in the ancient times. Because PTSD, I think, was different back then.
100%.
Because the battles were shorter, but they were gruesome in a way we don't understand. Because of the short sword, short spears. Like, it's different. It's a different thing. I'm not saying it's better or worse.
This is very intimate.
It's a very intimate thing. And so I think the bloodlust element of it, for how that PTSD thing went, is different. I think it gets darker in terms of like body gore.
Oh God.
Yeah, right. Well, because it would if you are stabbed. Remember all the 300 stuff with the eye, all the even in the Iliad, the eyes rolling down the spears and the brains rolling down the spears.
Oh, it's awful, bro.
Like, whew, whew.
Yeah,
they all see that every time they drill that thing. You got to do it again. I could do it one time. You convince me to thrust that spear, I'll do it just like my training says to do it. I don't know if I do it the second time.
Because then the thing is, you have to remember that after the battle, you have to go loot.
That's
you
what
have
I'm
to
saying.
go get all that gear. That's rough.
Yeah. I imagine the trench humor, the gallows humor, is like throwing hands at each other and stuff. Like, right? Like,
I found his dick. Yeah.
Well, we'll see some dick stuff later.
Oh, yay.
It's
It
not
wouldn't
good.
be battle buddies if there wasn't some nudity involved.
So it does make it to a more pitched battle now because there's a lot of suitors, right? There was over 100 of them. And, I would say probably we're near like 80, maybe 70 of them. So still a fair amount as Odysseus has essentially run out of arrows. And now they have spears. And it's cool. We get some fun stuff where Mentor, who is really Athena, comes down and she joins them for a little bit. And then she says, essentially, the subtext is, I'm going to test you for a little bit, Odysseus. I'm not going to help you right away. And then she disappears. And they're like, oh, Mentor ran away. This is our chance. So they start chucking spears at them. And Odysseus and Telemachus have to dodge them. The cowherd and the swineherd pop back up. So now it's 4 of them. And I think Telemachus and I think it was the swineherd, they both get hit by a spear, but not a lot. So it's getting dicey. But then now they're able to pick up the spears and throw them back. So we learn a little bit. These spears are sturdy. We've talked about this. Different construction of spears play differently. Later Roman ones would not be sturdy so that they would fall after they get hit, right? And ruin the shields.
Yeah, it's a crazy thing to think about. They don't show in the movies them throwing back the spears, right?
Right.
That's never a thing that you see.
And that's a time period specific thing. Like I feel like that probably worked best in more ancient times. And once they got better with like thinner pieces of metal after the Bronze Age, then they start doing that Roman thing where they want them to bend and break so they ruin. You can't lift up your shield all the way because it's all stuck in there.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I know, if you just pick up your dude's spear and throw it back at him.
That's crazy,
Fucking
bro.
sick.
You're like, oh, cool. Look, I got a weapon.
Yep. Okay, they end up taking back the day. So they win the day. They use the spears. They work as a 4-man squad, and they just kind of, turtle it up, walk in slowly, stabbing folks. I assume they formed a phalanx because they had the good shields, and then that's what I would have done. I would have had a shield, and I would have systematically slow stepped in with my shield and my spear until I got everybody down in that courtyard because they can't move back. They're stuck in the courtyard. And the hallways behind Odysseus, so they're great. The minster and the herald, they come out of hiding and they say, please don't kill us. And Odysseus is literally about to kill them. And Telemachus says, no, they're telling the truth. They were compelled to, help these suitors. They didn't have a choice in the matter. They're good guys. We've heard their stories for many years. Like they have no choice in the matter. And Odysseus he barely reins it in enough for them. He's like, get the fuck out of here. And it describes them running away, looking back the whole time because they're afraid that they're still going to get killed by Odysseus because he's that scary right
Dope
now.
shot. That would be a dope
That'd be a good shot.
Yeah.
Right? They're running and falling and
It's
looking
just
up.
watching them run away. Yeah, that's great.
Now, here's where it gets a little bad. The unfaithful servants, so the ones that were sleeping with the suitors, again, I think they were compelled to, or it doesn't fucking matter if they were to or not. That doesn't make them evil people. They're not the same as trying to get Penelope, whatever. They are pulled out, and Odysseus says to Telemachus, have them clean up all these dead bodies. Have them clean up this courtyard, and then you fucking kill them all. And they make them pile up all the bodies. These are guys they slept with last night. They pile them up into a nice stack, and then they clean all the blood that they can. And Telemachus is in charge of killing, so Telemachus pulls them back. But Telemachus, this is a weird Telemachus moment. It's out of character for the way that I read him, so maybe I'm reading him wrong. Or maybe this is him trying to prove to his father, or I don't know. I'm interested in your take. But he says, basically, their crimes are so extreme that they're not worthy of dying by my sword. So he takes a long-ass ship cable, and then he ties a bunch of nooses to them. And then he has them all stand on the ground with the nooses, and then he lifts them all up together, and it talks about their feet twitch for a while together. In unison.
God. Oh my God.
So he kills like 20 girls this way. Like, they're girls. They're not...
That's rough.
These would be the young women that the gross men would choose at night.
There's gotta... Wow. Yeah.
A lot written on this.
Yikes.
A lot written on this.
Yeah, man. I don't even know where to begin. I was going to say it says a lot about the time that he was like, they don't deserve the sword, you said?
Right. They didn't earn it.
And then in lieu of that, hangs them horrifically?
Horrifically. That's a because they made them clean up all the bodies first, too, right? It's like digging your own grave, Nazi Germany shit.
Correct.
These are the heroes of the story, guys.
It's giving like humiliation.
Yes.
Lack of respect. I haven't heard anything that fucked up since we done the Masters of the Air series. That's fucked up.
And I will struggle the rest of my life trying to understand in their logic why that crime was so much worse.
I feel like it has something to do with the time that we don't necessarily understand.
There's context that I do not get about how their social structures worked in their palaces.
That's what's happening right now.
It's court politics that I don't get.
And that's one of the things that when I read that book, What is History, that we talked about in our last At Ease episode, is when you study history and when you teach history, it's important. And I'm glad we said that, that we're saying we weren't of this time, so it's hard to judge. That's a good space to live in. Like,
absolutely.
I'm not going to also sit here at the same time and be like, excuse it. Like,
right. Those are two different things.
Exactly. Yeah. It's one of those things that reading it in the context of our time right now is just bizarre.
It's incompatible.
It's incompatible. Yeah.
And then we have this one. This one is more compatible. Although I still think that Odysseus is letting himself down. Because Melanthios, the guy who snuck by and got the shields and armor, to me was a worthy adversary. He helped Odysseus prove his worth as a hero. He fought well. He went and snuck by them. He found an opening. But Odysseus has his genitals ripped out and fed to dogs in front of him.
Oh my God. I'm wondering if there's this karmic thing happening.
I guess so.
Where it's like, hey, because Odysseus went through this insane trial of like devastation and had to go through a lot, well, now we're going to be on the upside, and he gets to have a little bit of redemption and revenge in this way. But, like, my goodness, why the grotesque violence? Why?
That's what I'm saying. Book 22 is so violent.
I guess the reality... Do you like Tarantino movies?
Yeah.
Same. And I guess
they are grotesque.
And yeah, they're extremely overdone. The blood is always insane. And I still enjoy them.
Yep.
And I'm assuming this is a little bit of that.
It might be just, the fan service fun part.
Yeah, where they're like, this is crazy. I'm imagining the next morning being at a bread stand or whatever, and two guys are waiting in line, and it's like two guys waiting in line at Starbucks talking about last night's Game of Thrones Wed Wedding episode.
Sure.
You're like, that shit was wild.
Yep.
And because you're talking about it, now you're creating a community and like a culture surrounding all of it. So I don't know. It's good storytelling.
It is.
Although it's insanity.
And basically the way that we read it now is trying to understand through the culture's lens, what those guys technically did, the violations they committed for the society that Homer would read this to accept that level of punishment, right? Because that's the big question, is that the people listening to the story, the Odyssey, they would have to accept that punishment as appropriate, or else they would say, this is Game of Thrones last season. This is a terrible ending. It doesn't make any sense with the context of the story. But this one clearly worked. People were like, yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
So clearly there's Xenia subtleties that are extremely like stepped on by the suitors in how they've been interacting and stuff like that. I don't know. But also I will say Odysseus doesn't get away unscathed because of this. Like he does fuck up a little bit because he goes so far. Remember, he killed Antinous and everybody else was like, that's fair. You got the drop on us.
Justified.
This is yours. But he went the extra mile. He put in the work. Right? The Bruce Springsteen of murder. But we'll get back to that in a second, because we now have, in the hero's journey, Odysseus is ending the returning with the elixir. So now he needs to fix his land, which he started to do. And Telemachus is now transitioning back to his ordinary world, which again gets very complicated because the special world and the ordinary world are superseding each other. Like they're on top of each other sometimes. Penelope has been sleeping this whole time. That's what the story says. I don't believe she, like in my head, even if I was listening to the story said to me as an ancient Greek, I would imagine like, no, she heard it and was like, not going out there for a while.
So that's kind of what I was about to say. Is like, I think sleeping means like she basically just kind of subconsciously turned off for a while.
Yeah, like it's happening.
Yeah.
And again, this is further evidence for retellings when they say Penelope knows it's Odysseus, because maybe that's why she didn't go out, because she knew that he was.
I see.
And why would she recommend Odysseus' bow comes out when she knows all the weapons are gone? So Penelope's a more fun character if she knows.
Okay. The continuity works.
Yeah. I don't think Homer can tell it that way, because in his society, Odysseus needs to be the smartest man in the room. And this makes Penelope smarter than Odysseus. And so I think that there's issues there. But retellings can do that. Like if Nolan's film does it this way, I would be all for it. Because I think it's a more engaging story with our culture.
We'll see what happens with Nolan.
Yeah, we'll get there in just a minute. So Penelope comes out and Telemachus is like, hey, it's your husband. And she does not believe him because they have secret signals and they want to go through the secret signals. Odysseus sobers up. He sobers up from his bloodlust now because he needs to put it on so that his wife will believe who he is. My question, though, to you, what's your secret signal to your wife? How's she going to know?
So my wife and I do this thing in public when I look at her across. This is about to be romantic, but that's okay.
It's good. We need some romance after all this violence.
If I see her, we make eye contact, but we're too far away to say anything to each other. I'll wink, but she doesn't know how to wink, so she'll wink both of her eyes, which is just another way of saying blinking. So she'll go like that.
Like a toddler.
Yeah.
That's adorable.
And, she'll go, oh, yeah. And then we smile, and then that's that.
That's really nice.
Yeah. Do you have one?
I thought we had some, but I tested them out. I was like, Hannah, what if I was replaced with a clone? And are you replaced with a clone? I said, which philosopher do I like more, Socrates or Aristotle? Which I thought was a slam dunk. The amount of times I talked about...
Can I guess?
Yeah.
Aristotle?
No! That's what she said too. I was like, when have I ever talked about Aristotle? I fucking hate Aristotle. I don't hate Aristotle, but I like Socrates a lot.
Same. I like the Socratic method a lot.
Aristotle, because Aristotle, I'm like, oh, you believe in like one concept, a metaphysical of chair, like it just exists in another plane. That's what chair means. No, it's stupid as fuck.
Piece of shit, Aristotle.
Metaphysics is dumb.
See, I chose Aristotle because I liked Socrates, and I was like, he won't like the same thing as me because he's Kevin, and he likes to be different.
Nope. I think Socrates is really fun. Yeah, Aristotle's cool. I just like Socrates a lot more.
Same.
So anyway, we're working on our new secret tells because that one didn't work out. It's a big issue. So she says, yeah, sure, maybe it's you. Let's move my marriage bed out to this other room so we can, go there tonight. And Odysseus is so confused, like, what did you do to my bed? Which is a sick line, right? The audience is like, what is going on? What secrets? So then it comes to light. She's like, oh my God, it's you. Because nobody goes into their bedroom but them. And they're in their courtyard in their house. They have this huge olive tree. And he carved the start of their bed from the olive tree. So the headboard is carved into the tree.
Wow.
And then it comes out. And so he's like, unless you moved a whole goddamn tree or you ruined my bed, you ain't moving our bed out, because that's what our bed is. I built it for you on our wedding night.
Sick.
It's sick. And she's
That's
like,
dope.
I missed you.
Hell yeah.
Now, he does, so they talk. Athene is nice, and this is great. This is such like a, how do you say romance in the ancient world, where Athene makes the night longer and delays the dawn so that they can have more time that night together.
That's fun.
I like, that's kind of sick flex on your
Yeah.
god powers. And Athene is weird. And she's weird about that with Odysseus. She wants Odysseus to get laid.
She's a flash and vag type of lady.
She is powerful, Vash.
Mm-hmm.
She did flash her Aegis at the men. We didn't really go into that. But that's okay. Odysseus does explain. Remember when in the last episode he got some prophecies, and we didn't really talk about them. Then we went right from the prophecies to Helios.
Mm-hmm.
The one prophecy we did get was that he needed to not eat the cattle of Helios. And I thought that was the whole prophecy, but it's not. He explains to Penelope he had another part of it, which is, this is odd, but I think I figured out what it's supposed to be saying. I should have read more about it. That he needs to carry an oar until he finds a people that don't know what the oar is, and they think it's a fan. And then he needs to place the oar in the ground and make a sacrifice to Poseidon.
Okay.
And if he does that, he will live a long and happy life.
Okay.
And what I think it's saying is Odysseus has to show that he has truly learned to respect the gods and respect the customs of their society. And seems like an impossible thing, but he's wronged Poseidon so many times that this would pay penance, essentially, for all of his misdeeds and being gone for so long, as he needs to make a hard journey. And it kind of sounds like Jesus wandering through the desert a little bit, right? It's kind of got that similar vibes. Like, I need you to go until you find a people that don't know who you are, which is interesting.
Okay.
Trials. But what he does tell them is, listen, guys, we're actually not out of this yet. And he says our trials are not done because we did kill a lot of fucking nobles. And
Yeah.
we may have gone overboard.
Just a little.
And, people could come for us. So they go to the country. They have kind of a country fortress where his dad, Laertes, lives. And there's this long thing where he explains to his dad that he was a person that was like Odysseus and knew Odysseus. And it turns out he is Odysseus. And his dad cries because he's so happy that his clever-ass son is alive. Although he could have said that at the beginning. But it's fine. We also get in book 24. It starts off really weird and is really fun. We don't get this in modern stories that much, especially dramatic stories. But this is like an ancient thing, and it's a fun moment where you have all the ghosts that have died. So everyone who's died in the Iliad and the Odyssey, they get woken up by Hermes, and they talk for a little bit.
That's fun.
It is fun.
So that's a literal part in the book. The ghosts are chilling around talking.
Yeah. So book 24. It literally starts with Hermes just banging his wand on the ground or something like that. And since he's one of the farriers of the dead, they all just pop up. And so we have Achilles, we have Agamemnon, we have all of the suitors who just died. We have all these heroes that we've met over the last thousands and thousands of heroic couplets. And they all come back and they all just start hanging out. It's really fun.
Hell yeah.
They talk, Agamemnon and Achilles are talking, and Achilles is like, man, Penelope's so much better than your wife because Penelope didn't murder you, or didn't murder Odysseus. And Agamemnon's like, that's true. Which again is, I think, just a constant reminder of why the Agamemnon story is repeated in the Odyssey so many times. It's repeated because you're supposed to foil Penelope against what her face is that married Agamemnon and killed him.
Now, is this a good time to talk about Achilles?
Yes, because Achilles talks there, and Achilles is kind of like, "Man, you suitors suck. You should have died like me." And Agamemnon's like, "Dude, your funeral was lit as fuck. Your god mom came with some nymphs, and they started screaming banshee cries, and we all started to run away until a priest came out and be like, no, that's just the way gods of the underwater nymphs talk." And so everyone was like, okay. And that was pretty crazy.
Whoa, does he like hearing that?
Yeah, because
That's dope.
what an honor for a mortal to have a bunch of gods come out crying in a voice so scary it scared off men that have been in war.
That's dope. So this is going to be in the Christopher Nolan adaptation, correct?
There's no way he has this scene.
No?
There's no way.
Why?
Because it's just a weird,
But Achilles is in the movie, no?
I think it's going to be a flashback.
Oh.
I think it's going to be a flashback.
Now, as we record this, I've been reading some interesting things on the internet about how people feel about Elliot Page being Achilles.
People have had problems with most of the casting.
Okay, so that's just across the board.
Well, okay, no, I won't say that. But they don't like the girl they got to play Helena Troy. If we look at the cast of the Odyssey, we can go, but we'll end with Achilles, because the Achilles one is the most weird one. I mean, it's the most interesting one to think about. But we have Lupita, who is playing Helen of Troy, and I'm all for it. I think Helen of Troy is supposed to be a beautiful woman. This is a beautiful woman.
Okay.
She's a good actor.
Yeah.
I have no problems. I don't understand
Cool.
people have problems with, but I like when people pretend to be purists, and then I'm like, "Did you read it in the ancient Greek?" And they're like, "No, I translated." I'm like, then what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
You had 3 translations then, right? So that you can make sure you got all the nuances. No, you didn't, you dumb fuck. Anne Hathaway's gonna play Penelope.
So that's who I was talking about. Anne Hathaway. She's going to be in it. Are people upset about that?
I don't think so. She's sassy and pretty. She's fine. I like Tom Holland as Telemachus.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fun. Zendaya as Athena. Marthine. It's fine. Zendaya's in everything.
Yeah, whatever.
Matt Damon as Odysseus is a choice that one can make. I don't know what Travis Scott's role is.
Travis Scott's in it?
Travis Scott's in it. Because, and people make fun of Nolan for this, but I'm actually kind of on his side. He said he wanted to include rappers because they're the closest to oral storytellers.
I see.
And he's not wrong.
No, he's not, I guess.
I might be the only person who still listens to the poet laureate of England right now.
Yeah. And my buddy Eric also is all about that.
So, like, if you're into spoken word stuff, like, it's around, but it's not as popular as hip hop.
No.
Hip hop is very popular and is very much a storytelling based like genre.
100%.
So-
100%.
But the big debate is of our friend Elliot Page.
Can I say this? Can we just start off by saying this? Did you see Inception?
Yeah.
Wasn't she in that?
Yes.
Okay. So like, they've worked together before.
Yeah, they clearly work well together.
So that was pretty much like that was like it for me. I was like, dude, they've been in movies before. I'm sure there was like a comfortability there. Like, that's the main thing. That being said, would I choose Elliot Page as Achilles? No.
No. Nope.
Just no. Who would you choose?
Brad Pitt.
Everyone's saying that. Have you seen the AI video of Brad Pitt
Yes.
walking around the set?
And I saw him throwing the spear like in the beginning and it hits Elliot Page as Achilles.
Yeah, there's a bunch
That
of
was brutal.
videos that AI people that are good with AI are making of Brad Pitt walking around the set talking shit to all the actors that have been chosen.
Yeah. But I don't know. Achilles doesn't have a big role, so I don't really care.
At the end of the day, I'm going to see the movie, and if it's done fine, I'm not going to make a
Yeah.
big fuss about it. It's just an interesting choice.
It is hard that Elliot Page is not a tremendous actor.
No, not really. Like that was the one in Juno, right?
Yeah.
Like you're basically Juno.
Juno
You're
was
Juno?
really good. Inception, Paige was not my favorite in Inception.
I don't even remember that character.
I'm saying that character didn't do really anything.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, Elliot, what was her name before it was Elliot? Or has it always been Elliot?
Missy.
What?
Missy Elliott. Come on now. We're having fun. Listen to a bunch of shitheads talk about.
Anyway, when I just see her as Juno. So I literally, when I'm going to be watching her as Achilles, and like she's a Minnesota chick having a baby right now.
I'm happy that Elliot Page has found who they are. Maybe they'll be better at acting after.
Sure, dude. You're allowed to do whatever you want. As long as you're not hurting people.
That is our rule. Okay. So that's the ghost talking. And the suitors, the ghosts, they talk to them for a while, and basically Agamemnon and Achilles throw a little bit of shade of, so you guys weren't at Troy, huh? What were you guys doing? Which is a kind of a plot hole that we never really covered. Why weren't they at Troy? Some of those guys were old enough to be there.
So what's the vibe?
The vibe is that they're a bunch of...
pussies.
Yeah, a little bit. We definitely get that vibe from Agamemnon and Achilles talking some mad shit, which is fun. It is fun.
Yeah,
because they're all Greeks. Like, why didn't you come with us? If you clearly didn't mind, raiding people, so...
What's the vibe?
Yep. Then we have Odysseus in his country house, and there's like an army approaching them. Like a little mini army, some of that noble houses that have realized what's happened, and so they are coming to get their blood. Right, they're going to get Odysseus, and you get this great scene where it's Odysseus and Telemachus with their spears in hand and their shields, and they're both chatting about how they can't wait to be brave and go out and see who can be the braver person. And then you have Laertes going, "Ha! My luck! Both my boys arguing over who can be the bravest." Which is kind of a sick. This is kind of like a cool, like, father-son, grandson little moment. I mean, they are...
just guys being dudes.
It's the guys being dudes, for sure.
Just guys being dudes.
And they go out and they, like, murder ball one or two guys. I forget how many it is. But they take down a couple guys that were out in the front trying to be brave. And then Zeus throws a fucking lightning bolt in the middle of the battle. And everybody stops. And Athena's like, you guys are all done here. Everything's cool now. I'm going to make them forget that you killed all the suitors. And so we got a little divine intervention so that the story can end.
Really?
Yeah.
Zeus throws a lightning bolt. Yep. And sometimes things just end.
Well, and we know we want to cover that battle. I'm going to be doing a Bronze Age series one day. I'm waiting for one more good source. But there is a battle that we're going to cover where they are fighting it. There's a solar eclipse, and everyone's like, so we're good now, right? Like, we're not going to do this battle. Everyone goes home right then and there.
Whoa, that's divine intervention.
Because you're in ancient times. Stars are gods. Mm-hmm. The big star goes away as you're killing people. Like, I don't think we're supposed to kill people today.
That's an omen. Mm-hmm,
even if you're not the most superstitious person, I feel like you're like, well, I don't know what that was.
Sorry, that's just, there's too much going on for that not to be a coincidence.
My heart's not in it anymore.
Yeah, so the whole sky went dark for no reason. We're not going to just gloss over this and keep fighting. This is not happening.
I'm not reforming ranks.
That's funny, bro.
That's the Odyssey.
That is the Odyssey. Man, that was a fun journey. We did the Iliad and the Odyssey. That is some next level shit.
That is cool.
Good job, Kevin.
Thanks, man. Thanks for going through it.
Yeah, that was great. If you are a human being that enjoyed listening to this by the time it comes out, hit me up. We're going to go see it in a group.
Yeah.
In IMAX. And, there'll be some fun characters watching it with us, and we're going to giggle along the way.
Absolutely.
So hit me up if you want to join us. We'll figure out how you can come with us if you're in our area. Any other things to say?
No, we'll have a bonus episode for this because I have tons of material still that we'll do. So if you want to hear a bonus episode, it'll be on Patreon. And I have some other things I might be loading up to Patreon that are adjacent to what we're doing. But I'm excited for my next series to be more on the military battle side. Although this kind of scratched that itch.
It did.
It really was the payoff.
It's all related, man. It's all related. Yeah. So I'm working on a series right now that'll be coming out by the time that you listen to this within the next month or so after this comes out, whenever this, probably end of June, July is when this episode drops.
I'm going to, hopefully before that, I'm going to leave this in to make fun of myself for when I inevitably don't hit my deadlines. But there's not too much to edit from this one, so that'll be good.
Shout out to our Patreon subscribers. We appreciate the shit out of you. We appreciate all of our listeners. And more content is coming your way,
Absolutely.
folks. We appreciate you. And until next time, so
it goes.